Thank you. I feel like there's certain things that exercise brings to the table for people's lives. Like for me personally, I feel like the creation of the habit creates discipline and consistency, but it also creates like really good mental health for me personally. So what does exercise bring to the table for you guys that you think would be encouraging for somebody else to go out and hit the gym?
Oh, great question.
So
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
just pick one, but
Yeah,
like
sure,
one
sure.
thing. I'll go with the it sets a good example route.
Mhm.
Because it's not just about how you look, right? It's not like a shallow like, oh, I need to look like Brad Pitt type of thing or whatever, right? I mean, it's a it's a discipline. It's something you have to commit to and be intentional about. Um, and I mean, there outside of how it changes your physical appearance, it changes the health of your organs, and I mean, in a positive
Mhm.
way, raises
Mhm.
your immune system, things like that. So, it's a worthwhile endeavor to model it for your children, to know that at least some form of exercise is something you should include. And especially as you get older in life, maybe it's not strength training at that point, but
Sure.
there's a lot of elderly people live around me, and I notice the ones who seem to be still really healthy, just they don't look like they're frail. They walk every
Mhm.
morning. I see him every morning walking. Like one guy, he's got to be 85 plus, and he's just getting after it every morning, like this like intense power walk, like he's ruck marching, and he looks very like virile and healthy, and he's I mean he's really old. So I think it's a good example to set, because it's a habit that's going to help sustain you through life, in a lot of ways, and we'll talk about a lot of other benefits, I'm sure. But for me, I think that's a really good reason to put the effort into it.
Sure. Yeah, and for me, like I said, uh, so I don't know if any fathers out there listen to this that feel the same way. But if you don't know what anxiety is, sometimes people don't realize they have anxiety. You feel like you have way too much energy, and you just gotta like drop and do 20 push-ups. It's just like this, you're just gonna burst, and like it's overwhelming. That's how it was for me, like high energy, but I'm a high energy person as it is. And I had all this energy and I couldn't get rid of it, so it would focus negatively, if that makes sense. So exercise is that outlet, for me. But it was also a great way. Like when I moved to South Mississippi, I moved to the coast and I started the CrossFit. I didn't have a whole lot of friends when I was there. I mean, I make friends okay, but they're not really the kind of people I was wanting to hang out with. So when I went to CrossFit and I started like a runners league down there, I really found a lot of good friends, and let's be honest, people who take care of themselves like to tend to take care of their relationships with others and other aspects of life. So if you're willing to take care of yourself and dedicate that time to yourself, more than likely you're the kind of person who does that in a career and success and other things. And so that's kind of the people I wanted to be around. So yeah, I had some good friendships from it as well. And it's definitely something that I want to share with my children one day, hopefully. uh, just to kind of be one of those things that you can always fall back on. It doesn't matter what kind of day you're having. If you're good, bad, happy, sad, there's always a workout or a run or something that can just counter that. And I don't know how to explain it any other way than that. Like it literally is a cure all. You'll literally feel your stress melt away. And that's just, for me, that was the ultimate thing. Just getting off of medication, being able to go natural and like just vitamins and just taking care of myself. And then honestly, when you watch yourself go from a heavier point, like I did in my life, when my twin brother was at Oxford, I got pretty heavy at one point, and I'm 6'3". I think my probably like 10% body fat's like 175 ish. I was 230, and I was probably like a really horrible BMI, and I was miserable. So one day I just woke up and I started. This is why I said Planet Fitness. The best shape I ever got in was with my dad. My dad loves Planet Fitness because he travels constantly. And I'm telling you what, just the way you feel losing 30 pounds, it's so different when you look at yourself in the mirror one day and then you realize you've lost that weight. It's addictive. And if you have an
Mhm.
addictive personality and you have bad habits, oh, it's so good to like just have a healthy addiction, because that's exactly what it becomes. Like when you make it a habit after 30 days, after 60 it becomes fun, and after 90 days it becomes a must. that's when you really start to, I'd say 3 to 4 months is when people really start to see physical changes and find mental changes that come with that, because you start feeling confident, happier, that kind of thing.
Sure, sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, exercise benefits brain function because of three primary chemicals that it modulates. So like dopamine, noradrenaline, serotonin, all those things are all affected. And usually, what will happen with somebody who's either a high functioning anxietous person or somebody who's dealing with depression or anything like that. The noradrenaline is always going to be really high. It's going to be peaked because they're just constantly in that fight or flight mode, and that was something that happened to me as a new dad when I first had my first child. Man, my stress levels were through the roof. My depression kind of kicked in because of anxiety, and so one of the things my doctor did is he tried medicine. Medicine didn't work for me. It actually made it worse. It gave me panic attacks and all this stuff. And so one of the things that I did as a new dad was he said, "Look, man, eat a consistently clean diet and go to the gym for at least 3 weeks. If you consistently go for at least 21 days, you'll see a difference." And I'm telling you, about the 20 to 21st day, it was like a light switch just turned on, and like the adrenaline was gone, and everything kind of like all those different levels of chemicals went from peaking and bottoming out to being leveled out. And then once that was modulated by the exercise, it was like the anxiety, the panic attacks, all that stuff disappeared. So there's a definite huge benefit of exercise to your mental health, but to the modulation of your body's chemicals that affect your mood. So it's really important for sure.
And so one of the consistent themes we'll talk about during this show is it's all what works best for you. So I tried so hard to meditate. I tried to sit there. I tried to quiet my mind. And when someone says, don't think about pink elephants, all I can think about is pink elephants. Yeah. Right. And so I can't do it. I spent a year trying to learn how to meditate, and it was a complete, utter failure. What I can do, though, and this is interesting, is while I'm practicing yoga, and the more intense, the better. I love hot yoga. I like a nice hot room. I can quiet my mind while I'm exercising. And so for me, meditation can only occur while I'm being active. And again, that's just me. A lot of people, I think, are very able to, to just sit and take a moment and quiet their mind. And exactly, that's awesome. And and maybe it's attention deficit, maybe it's just how my brain works. But for me, I have to be active in order to shut out thoughts that I don't want to have and to quiet my mind. And I think one of the key elements to being a happy father, and one of the most important things you can pass on to your children, is the ability to quiet negative thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think most Americans are walking around with a constant stream of negative, critical thoughts. And we think that's okay. We think it's normal because you're a weirdo or a nerd or a loser if you have positive self-talk. I mean, how many people wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to have a great morning. Yeah. I'm awesome. I'm going to go make the devil run away because he should be afraid, whatever, and most people don't do that because it sounds hokey. Right.
Yep.
And as I feel like those progressive commercials where you turn into your parents, but as I get older and become a dad, I realize a lot of those quote unquote hokey ideas that we, think of as corny and silly are not silly at all. If you have the ability to engage in positive self-talk, you will last longer while you exercise. You'll be able to meditate more easily. It is a critical function that we as men need to do. And for some reason, our culture has really told us that that's bad, that's silly or immature, and it's not at all. It is absolutely essential for your mental health, exercising or not, to be positive. And one of my favorite stations, it's on Spotify. It's called Fearless Motivation Radio. I think I sent it to you guys a couple of years ago. It's intense, powerful music overlaid with speeches of people saying, you can do this, essentially. And that's cool. It doesn't matter. I mean, your dog could have just died that morning, and you are going to find it changes your mood, man. It's it's powerful. Like Justin was talking about, music is an incredible motivator, and combining powerful music with powerful exercise. That's better than any kind of medication. Yeah, exactly.
It's slaying the beast. I mean, it's the epic.
Yeah.
that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.